Welcome to the Osmo Early Bird Podcast. It's your old pal EMAC coming to you solo on a Sunday night. This is something that doesn't happen all that often. I was going to be joined by one Chris Randone, but he is off at his parents' house. And wait for it, power outage down there in Florida. There was a storm where they are, so it's been gone for a couple hours. So I'm just going to jump in and run this one solo. No problem there. We've got plenty of action. I've already written the Spotlight Hitters and Stacks article, so I'm well ensconced in the slate. If you guys have not yet signed up yet at Yahoo, they are the presenting sponsor of the Early Bird Podcast. Go to that Spotlight Hitters article that will be on the front page of Osmo. It's free, and you, of course, will get the link in the third paragraph and the instructions on how to sign up and make your first deposit over there. If it is your initial deposit on Yahoo, they will match you up to $30 in Yahoo Sports Rewards points, which are good as cash and available for immediate use to enter any contest. They do have the management fee free contest posted there for Monday, so you will definitely want to check that out. It is 1,500 people, $4,500 in, $4,500 out. That's right, no management fees, 10 entry max. Let's talk about the slate. We do have a doubleheader in Coors Field. We have San Francisco heading into Denver after finishing up their series in Milwaukee. So this one will be on most of the sites are actually running an all-day slate, which does contain the early game and then the later games, skipping the San Francisco and Colorado game. However, Yahoo does run both games on their slate, so you can pick. Let me go here and just see that they did do it today, but if they run the early contest counting it, they do. You go click on it and you will see anybody that is available on Colorado or on San Francisco will have different prices in most cases, but they will have two lines. So for example, Nolan Arenado in the 210 game is $20. In the 840 game, he is $18. And I think it would be fun if you played an outfielder. Conceivably, you could play the same player twice. Wouldn't that be something? I've played the same teams but different players as game one and game two of the doubleheaders, but I've never actually played an outfielder in two slots. So anyway, there you go. May want to check that out. So it looks like in that first game, it's going to be Herman Marquez going against Drew Pomeranz. So we know Drew Pomeranz, not really great. Well, now I'm seeing something new. Now it's potentially Jeff Smarja. Man, these doubleheaders have wreaked havoc with the different sites and setups. So it is Jeff Smarja. I'm going to go over here to the MLB.com's probable pitchers page. We'll just use them as our baseline. But Smarja's going in this first game. He is horrible on the road, accepting a reasonably good performance there in San Diego just before the break. Herman Marquez has had moments. He has faced the Rockies a couple times this season. He's adequate at home, but this is just going to be a tough matchup either way. So if you're playing this slate, I would skip these pitchers. Go for the hitters, and then we can find other pitchers later on. Moving on to the main slate, which is, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 games, because we do have that doubleheader. Seeing conflicting reports if it's Walker Buehler or Clayton Kershaw. The probable pitchers page here on MLB.com does say it is going to be Clayton Kershaw, so we are going with that one. Either way, I would prefer Buehler over Kershaw. Price point for Kershaw is going to be a little expensive. He is not Clayton effing Kershaw anymore, but he is still relatively solid. If we look at, let's get over here to the pricing. Oh, God. Boy, everybody's got Walker Buehler showing, but Kershaw's 51, Walker Buehler 52 on Yahoo. On DK, it looks like Kershaw's 10,700, and then if it's Buehler going, he is 10,900. I prefer Buehler against the righties of Philadelphia. Kershaw, it's okay with. I want to spend on the Coors Field hitters, so we'll see how we go on pitching. I don't see a truly dominant pitcher out there, and there's a couple other guys I'm intrigued by. But this matchup is not bad for Walker Buehler because Philly's been worse against righties. Lefties, they've actually been adequate against. They have a 104 WRC+, which is 14th in the league. They have a 20.4% strikeout rate, which is 22nd. And then their walk rate is just shy of 10%, which is ninth. So they're kind of middle of the pack to the upper third, just on the cusp of the upper third in offenses against lefties. So that has me a little down on Clayton Kershaw. On the other side, you have Zach Eflin, and he has been getting tattooed by lefties. On the season, he is allowing a 374 WOBA, has a 280 isolated power, 9.1% walk rate, and an 18% strikeout rate. So, yeah, we're not playing him, but we're going to look to any of the Dodgers lefties because they can definitely run a bunch of them out there. Considering price, potential production, and position eligibility, my rankings would go Cody Bellinger, Jock Peterson, Max Muncy, Corey Seager, and then Alex Verdugo. Seager recently returned from the injured list, as did AJ Pollock, which is making their lineup that much tougher. And then Justin Turner, even though this is a righty-righty matchup, he's good against righties. Finally showing signs of life. 5 extra base hits in his last 33 at bats. So that is, Dodgers potentially could be one of the counter moves against the old Coors Field extravaganza here. Dodgers are coming in with a 5.4 implied run total. Philly just 4.1, which is one of the lower on the slate. Moving along to our next game. Oh, not to bury the lead. It's pretty much going to be the mid to upper 80s everywhere. That includes Colorado for the night game. It's going to start off around 80, go into the mid 70s, but the day game will be in the mid 80s. Philly is going to be in the mid 80s, 40% humidity. That's down a little bit from the weekend. Boston, really no humidity at all. It's going to be 85. Cleveland, it's going to be 84, 60% humidity. Just keep an eye on that one in case there's any storms that pop up. The Cubs, it's going to be 88 degrees at first pitch, 10 to 12 mile an hour wind blowing out to center. Of course, we don't have a line on this one yet, but that's a hitting environment if we've seen one. Milwaukee doesn't really matter. It's either going to be nice or they're going to cover or they're going to close the roof, so that doesn't matter. Cardinals have a chance of some potential rain in the area around the game time. We're 20 hours away from first pitch, so things could change, but it's going to be in the mid 70s. Decent chance of scattered showers. So if they head over the stadium, could be a problem. As long as they're going to be moving through, we shouldn't really have to worry about it that much because we're not really going to be focused on these pitchers. But we'll talk about them in a second. And then we've got Lucas Giolito and Jake Junis going in Kansas City. That game is going to be in the low 80s, but 70% humidity. So, yeah, these are hitting environments. And then lastly, our lone 10 o'clock game, you've got the Houston Astros, and you've got they're out in Los Angeles taking on the Angels in Anaheim. That's going to be 80 degrees. So, again, everything pretty warm there. The only real weather spot potentially looks like St. Louis at this point. All right, back to breaking down the games a little bit here. So you've got Blake Snell going against James Paxton. These guys just faced their respective teams in their last starts. This is going to be the 5th time that Snell has faced the Yankees. In his prior 4 appearances, he is 0-2 with 17 innings pitched, a 5.3 ERA, a 1.53 whip, and he has 26 strikeouts in those 17 innings. So that's pretty good. Just 2 home runs allowed. Could be a contrarian option. We want to go after strikeouts, although he will cost you at least one Coors Field hitter. So he will probably be not very popular at all. I would suspect around 10% on the 2 pitcher site. So here's your chance to go with him. But you're going into the teeth of this Yankees offense. They are all healthy now with the exception of Giancarlo. Don't call him Mike Stanton. So tough marching order, especially since it's the 5th time Snell will be facing the Yankees. On the other side, you do have James Paxton. 9,300. That's a favorable price point. His last start was against the Rays before the break. He went 6 innings, struck out 11, allowed 2 earned runs. He has been getting back on track. He has only allowed more than 2 runs once in his last 5 starts. 2 of them were 2 runs, 2 of them were 1 run. And he's reasonably priced considering he's probably going to go around 100 pitches. So that is something to consider. So I'll take the $700 savings on DraftKings going to Paxton from Snell. On Yahoo, it's reversed. It's 38 for Snell, 44 for Paxton. I'd still rather get the Paxton, but he's the 4th most expensive pitcher. So not really the best spot there. So we have some decision points, which makes this a lot of fun. And then over on FanDuel, you have Snell as the third most expensive option, while you have Paxton as the fifth most expensive option, just 300 separating them there. It'll be interesting to see what happens on FanDuel, because you have 5 guys between 97 and 9,000, with Castillo, either Kershaw or Buehler, whoever's starting in that one, Snell, Giolito, who would actually be my choice, and then James Paxton, rounding things out. So not too shabby there. DK only play, Daniel Norris. Let's see what he is on Yahoo. On Yahoo, he is 25. All right, fine. He's in play on Yahoo. We got to play 2 pitchers. We got some hitters we really want here in Coors Field. This is one way to get them, by going with Daniel Norris. Now, if we look at it on a price per pitch, we're going to see him get 80 to 85 pitches is my guess. In his last 3 starts, he's gone 98, 77, and 93. So I think he is worth a flyer, as Cleveland is pretty pedestrian against lefties. They are better against righties because they've got all those lefties, plus their 3 best hitters are switch hitters in Santana, Lindor, and Jose Ramirez, and they're all better from the left side. So remember, it's the righties, it's the righties we want to target them against, not so much the lefties. So Norris at 4,200. I mean, there are a lot of hitters more expensive than he is. On the other side, we have Adam Plutko. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. He's 38 on Yahoo, which is fair. He's 7,500 on FanDuel. Now, I normally try to get who I feel the best pitcher is, but 7,500 with the hitters on the slate, I'm intrigued by him there. And then at 78 on DK, he's going to be in my player pool, probably one of my more popular options. Now, he's going against Detroit. The Motor City Kitties are bad against right-handed pitching. They have the lowest WRC plus in the league at 78. So what that means is it's weighted runs created plus. That's an advanced metric that neutralizes ballpark factors and creates a league-wide baseline for scoring efficiency of 100. So that means they score 22% less than the average team, against righties. They have the 5th lowest walk rate at 7.4%, the 5th highest strikeout rate at 25%, and they're a mess. So Adam Plutko, hello, let's look at him. Now, he's been coming out of the pen, but he did throw, let me call this up, I want to say it was 80 some pitches in his, it was a relief appearance, but he ended up putting in, let me see here, 93 pitches in this one. Let's see, he was 34 in the game before that, 89 prior to that, and then a full month ago, 107. They have said he's been doing some side sessions and simulated games to stay fully stretched out. So that $7,800 is very, very intriguing over there on DraftKings, and the 38 on Yahoo and the 75 on FanDuel as well. Continuing along here, our next game is in Boston. We have the Red Sox hosting the Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays coming in with a 4.5 implied run total. They are going against Rick Porcello. He is 3,600. I would rather take Adam Plutko against former Cy Young winner Rick Porcello. Porcello just not getting it done at this point. He is 35 on Yahoo. I mean, these are the price is fair, but where is our upside? Where is our upside? We really need him to get the win. We'd like to get a quality start, but I think that could be a stretch. In his last 3 games, he's allowed 17 runs in just 12 innings. That's the games in reverse chronological order. So most recent was in Detroit against the Tigers. Then it was home against New York, and then it was home against Toronto. So he only had 7 strikeouts in those 12 innings. So 17 runs allowed versus 7 strikeouts. Not good. 5.3 ERA on the season. This is not good for him at all. So I'm not a Rick Porcello fan anyway. So there you go. If you can't talk yourself into Adam Plutko, consider Porcello. On the other side, Trent Thornton. Yeah, no thank you. You'll find that I'm going to be looking to stack. Boston, they have a 6.2 implied run total. That is going to be one of the ones that rivals Coors Field. Trent Thornton has made 19 starts so far in his rookie season. He's had a few craptastic outings. He's had a couple okay ones, but remember, we've been playing him because his price has been appropriate. His last three outings, he has melted down in two of them. One was against Boston. Hey, that's who he's playing now. And one was in New York. So two of the better offenses in the league. But he went 6 innings total, gave up 12 earned runs, 21 base runners. So 21 base runners in 6 innings. That's not good. 21 base runners and 5 strikeouts. Also not good. 3 home runs allowed. So this will be his third start against the Red Sox. The previous 2, which counted that one of those little meltdown games in there, he lasted a total of 9 innings with 21 base runners, 9 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, and a home run. Those starts were July 2nd and June 26th. So relatively recently. So I do not like Thornton in this matchup. Against 208 same-handed hitters, so righty-righty matchups, he has been solid. 326 WOBA, 123 ISO, 23% K rate. The 10% walk rate is a little high, but hey, he's a rookie. We'll give him a little bit of a break for that. The lefties, bad. 357 WOBA, 235 ISO, 23.3 strikeout rate, and nearly a 10% walk rate. That is just not good. So we want to go to the lefties first. Let's look to Rafael Devers, Andrew Benintendi, and Jackie Bradley Jr. Now, these guys are not going to be close to each other in the batting order. I mean, there's a chance Devers and Benintendi are, but Bradley's going to be batting 7th or 8th. So we can also look to Mookie Betts, JD Martinez, Xander Bogaerts, Christian Vasquez, or whoever is behind the dish to connect the dots, as they say. So that is potential offense number 1. Scary pitching environment number 5 on this slate is hot and wind blowing out in Chicago. However, 2 of the better pitchers are in here, but we're going to be paying for them. So Luis Castillo is going to be going for Cincinnati. We do know that this is the 3rd time he is going against the Cubbies. That's going to be a recurring theme, obviously, because we're just over halfway through the season. We're about 105 days in. We've got about 80 to go, 75 maybe. So we're going to see people playing each other a lot. So in his other 2 starts, he's gone 12 in the 3rd innings. 12 strikeouts in those 12 innings. That's pretty good. 8 base runners, not the best, or that's pretty good. 3 runs allowed and a homer. But we're paying top dollar on DraftKings, $11,800. It's going to be a tough ask. 45 on Yahoo. Okay, maybe. 9,700 on FanDuel. Probably not. But I think he's probably the outside of Lucas Giolito, who we'll get to, the arguably the best pitcher. If it's Kershaw and not Walker Buehler, just again because I don't like that Kershaw matchup going against the many righties of Philadelphia. So probably no Luis Castillo for me. I'm not going to be taking the Cubs, but kind of a stay away. On the other side, you have Kyle Hendricks, who's been really, really good this year. He's ticking up from a fantasy perspective. The strikeouts just aren't quite there, but he has a 3.5 ERA, a 1.8 whip, probably 1.18 whip. This is going to be the 3rd time he's going against the Reds. The Reds just coming out of Coors Field. What did they score? I don't know, some amazing amount, like 26 runs between Saturday and Sunday. So the Reds, they might be a little tuckered out, but I really don't want any part of Kyle Hendricks in this one. Not really excited by the Reds either, so probably a stay-away game for me. We'll have to see what happens. Jesse Winker dinged up, left the game early. Puig got the day off. And then who knows if they're going to play Votto without giving him a day off, even though we're just coming off from the All-Star break. So, yeah, not really exciting there. What do we got? 3 more games to go, 4 more games to go. Let's talk about Atlanta. We have Max Fried, who has not been good, going into Milwaukee, taking on the Brewers, who are going to be starting Adrian Hauser, who is much better as a reliever, but they're going to give him a few more turns in the rotation. Read an article that said they think his talent will win out. Not going to scare me away. So looking at Hauser, let's see. My notes are Atlanta power hitters could be a counter move against the Coors Field crowd. Freddie Freeman, Josh Donaldson, Ronald Acuna, and Nick Markakis would be my choices. They are not cheap on DraftKings, so they are not going to be popular. And there is your contrarian stack. On the other side, favorably priced outside of Christian Yelich, who's 5,600 on DK, but you got Lorenzo Cain, Ryan Braun, Mike Moustakas, Aguiar, Hira. They're all reasonably priced across the board. They're going against Max Fried. So Max Fried, in his last 10 appearances, 7 of them were starts. He's gone 36 and 2/3 innings with a 6.14 ERA and a 1.8 WHIP with 6 home runs. That is not good. The Brewers have a 5 implied run total. Atlanta's got a 5.1 coming on the other side. I like this game, both sides from the hitters. No pitching for me. And we can say the same thing about the very healthy 5-game 8 o'clock slate there on DraftKings. This is one where, again, if you're trying to be a little bit different and not go to Coors Field, look here for the hitters. Continuing on to our St. Louis game. This one, you're going to hear the same thing, but it's going to be for different sites. We've got Pittsburgh taking on the Cardinals. 3.9 implied run total for Pittsburgh. They're going against Miles Mikolas. And Joe Musgrove, yeah, a little bit scary. So here's what I'm going to do. Musgrove, 5,800 on DK. Absolutely. Sounds great. I like it. I love it. Let's roll with it. At 40 on Yahoo, no bueno. Don't want any part of it. And then on FanDuel, I really don't want any part of it either. Okay, so this is a DraftKings only play as an SP2. So lefties are his weakness. The Redbirds are probably going to have 3 in the lineup, but they do have 5 available between Colton Wong and Matt Carpenter, who are lefties, and then they've got 3 switch hitters in Tommy Edman, Dexter Fowler, and Matt Wieters. Now, the reason they'll probably only have 3 is it seems that Colton Wong is perpetually dinged up. It'll probably be Wong or Edelman or Carpenter. So I get 2 of those 3 will be in there. And then maybe Matt Wieters. He's been getting the starts because Yadier Molina's been out. But Wieters oftentimes is dinged up himself. And he's someone that may not be in the lineup. We shall have to see. And then Dexter Fowler, not really that exciting. So I'm okay with Musgrove at 5,800. I like him better than Porcello. I like the discount to Plutko on DraftKings. On Yahoo, I'm going to go with Miles Mikolas. Here's why. He's $30. He's 8,000 on DraftKings. Pretty much the same story here. He's enticing. Lefties are his problem, though. Again, this is 30 on Yahoo. That's 5 above the minimum. Lefties kick his ass, but the Pirates have a lot of them. So this is, grin your teeth and bear it, or grits your teeth and bear it. But they've got Josh Bell, Colin Moran, Corey Dickerson, Adam Frazier, Brian Reynolds. So that's not going to be the easiest task. Now, what can we do? Well, on DraftKings, if you go with Colin Moran and Corey Dickerson, they're both in the upper 3,000s. So you can look to those guys there, whether or not you're playing Musgrove. Those guys are definitely in play. So this is a random playing both sides of this game. Pitchers on the different sides, hitters wherever you like them, but stick to the lefties as best you can. Let me see here. Coors Field. Yeah, you all know what to do with Coors Field. It's because they had that really late game that didn't get over till midnight on Saturday. They played again on Sunday. Now they've got the doubleheader. I have no idea who's going to be in the lineup. But I do know that Derek Rodriguez is likely to be called up to get the start. He was down in AAA. And let me see here. Where are my notes? Let's see. So he was being converted back into a starting role. He should be good for 80 to 85 pitches on Monday night. Not that it really matters. In his last 398 right-handed hitters faced, he is a righty. He's been decent. He's got a 3.5 ERA, but a 4.6 xFIP. 0.9 home runs per 9, 42% hard hit rate. But a lot of that is in San Francisco. That's not going to play well in Denver. His last 338 lefties that he has faced, he's been pretty good with the 3.7 ERA, but a 5.1 xFIP, a 1 home run per 9, and again, about 42% hard hit rate. So he's going to be in trouble. Now, both Charlie Blackmon and Nolan Arenado got Sunday off. So they should be in the lineup even with the doubleheader. Then you've got who knows what's going to happen, but I suspect David Dahl, Daniel Murphy, and Ian Desmond will probably play both games since they just got the All-Star break off as well. But you'll have to wait and see. On the other side, as I mentioned, the Rockies are going with Herman Marquez in the afternoon game. They have not yet announced a pitcher for that late game. So it's either going to be Peter Lambert, or they're going to call somebody up from the minors, because remember, when you have a doubleheader, you are allowed a 26th man, so you can bring up a pitcher. The guy that could be coming in the rotation is Chichi Gonzalez. So, yeah, we're going to be considering some of the Giants, regardless of who gets the ball. So, Brandon Belt, Stephen Vogt, Pablo Sandoval, Mike Yastrzemski, Alex Dickerson, who's missed 2 games with back spasms and got pulled early on Friday. We hope he's in the lineup. Posey, if he's in the lineup. Crawford, Evan Longoria, Joe Panic, anybody. Play anybody in this one. But again, it's a doubleheader. We're not entirely sure who's going to play both. Or who gets rested in the first one and plays the second. So you have to check that one out. And then the last game of the night, this one is, let me get back to my sheet here. This one is Houston in Anaheim. Now, because Houston is running out an opener, most likely Josh James, it's going to be Framber Valdez coming in as the probable long reliever. Valdez is 4,600 on DraftKings, but I would like to point out in his last 3 appearances, he has gone at 28, 69, and 64 pitches for -10, -7, and -0.7 fantasy points. The 2 games prior to that, masterful. 82 and 84 pitch outings against Toronto and Baltimore, 25 and 24 DraftKings points. So somewhere in the middle lies the truth. 4,600, maybe you want to play him. You figure about 65, 70 pitches against the Angels. Yeah, maybe that 2-game late slate. Really don't want to go there. I'd rather go with Daniel Norris, frankly, for a very similar price on DraftKings. Now, on the other side here, I see I missed one game. Sorry, we'll hit that White Sox and Kansas City game in just a sec. On the other side, you've got Griffin Canning, who has been a whole lot of mixed results. Started off relatively solid. He was a rookie, didn't have a lot of the book out on him yet, but he has now made 10 starts. I'm sorry, he's made 12 starts, and he's got a total of 65 innings. He has a 4.4 ERA, a 1.1 WHIP, and he's got 69 strikeouts in those 65 innings. So that's pretty solid. But $9,000. I can't do that on DraftKings. It just it's not going to happen. 7,300 on FanDuel. Yes, if you can't talk yourself into Adam Plitko, then Griffin Canning is in play. It's not an easy matchup against the Astros, but that would be where he becomes more interesting. And then on Yahoo, he is 37. We don't hate it, but there are other places I'd rather go. From that standpoint. Now, the game I forgot that I skipped over because I wanted to call this one out in particular. This is the Colorado. Time for me to go to bed. It's the Chicago White Sox going against Kansas City in Kansas City. So I really want to take the White Sox. They're going against Jake Junis. 4.6 implied run total. That's not great. Junis allowed just 2 runs in his last start. Of course, they were both solo shots against Washington. Not great. 52 home runs, which is 3rd most in the league since the beginning of last season. Dylan Bundy with 62 and Justin Verlander with 52 are the only guys ahead of him. He has allowed multiple home runs in 5 of his last 10 starts. He gives up the hits and power to both sides of the plate. This is Jake Junis. Last 620 lefties he has faced, a 350 WOBA, 185 ISO, 22 home runs, 608 righties, a 330 WOBA, 210 ISO, and 30 home runs. Probably want to focus on Abreu Moncada, Eloy Jimenez, and then James McCann. And that's where I want to go with that one. On the other side, we do have Lucas Giolito, who I think is our best option at pitcher. He has 11,000 on DraftKings. Going to be hard to get to him. He is 9,100 on FanDuel. Yes, please. I would like to go there. And then Yahoo, your mileage may vary. He's 52. It's doable, it's reasonable, and I don't mind it. So let's talk about him a little bit. So on the season, 17 starts, 100 innings pitched. He has allowed just 9 home runs. So he's on pace, basically, if you were to go 200 innings, which is kind of the benchmark, if you're going to make about 33 to 36 starts, let's just call it 200 innings, he would be giving up less than 20. That's pretty good. He has 120 strikeouts in 100 innings. Very, very good. 3.15 ERA, 1.07 whip, and he changed his arm slot. So this is the new Lucas Giolito. That was his tweak. It's entirely different. You can go see articles about it. This changed probably 10 games ago by now. His last 10 games, 62 innings, 2.9 ERA, 1.0 whip, 74 strikeouts in 62 innings. Just phenomenal. Just absolutely phenomenal. Now, the one funny thing is, this is actually going to be the 5th time he has faced Kansas City. So he's in his other 4 games, he's 3-0, 25 innings. He has allowed 5 total runs in those 25 innings, 1 home run, just 5 walks, 34 strikeouts, 1.8 ERA, a .56 whip. That means he's allowing half of a base runner per inning, and then a batting average against of 108. Damn, he's got their number. So you're paying a premium there on DK, but he is definitely the most talented pitcher out there. So that is your crown jewel. All right, gamers, with that, we're going to get on out of here. You do get the DFS strategy show at, I think that'll be 9:30 on Monday. You will get the deep dive. That will be at 5 o'clock. And then you will get live before lock, leading you up to lock, just like it says. So with that, you can follow me at EMAC DFS. You can follow Osimo at Osimo_COM. With that, gamers, good luck.